Okay, so hot take. Clarity does not come from thinking more. It comes from doing and moving. So let me explain. I've been going through those periods that you might be familiar with. Those times where you're just so uncertain about things, you doubt everything, you doubt your whole existence. And I think we all have gone through it at some point in our lives. In my case, over the last few years, it's probably been like on and off, on and off, on and off. And it's something that's very frustrating. I think all of us that we have been there, it just feels so uncomfortable to be in there and always second guessing what you're doing. But hey, it's also part of life. I see both spectrums in this world. I see on one side, people going full speed all day. They're going full velocity. They're just on that bike, running down, and they're going so fast that whenever something happens and they have to really brake or change directions, they can't react on time. So they crash on that wall, and it's very painful. And on the other side of the spectrum, I also see a lot of people, this is where I include myself most of the time, where we're just not even moving. We're just zero speed. We're stuck. We're stationary. And it's so uncomfortable and it's so painful and difficult to do anything because we're just overthinking everything. Like, is this the right move? Is this the right choice? What if I make a mistake? What if something really bad happens? And we're just so afraid of any choice we make, we're just not even moving. And so we're so unclear and so uncertain. I think there's just that time where we need a little bit of movement. And so think about this as a bicycle. This has really helped me. Think of it this way. So if you're on a bicycle, right, and you sit on it and you're still like stationary, you try to, put both feet on the bike and try to start steering the wheel, you'll eventually fall off because you're not even moving. You need tremendous amounts of skill and balance to not fall off the bike. On the other side as well, if we're going too quick with the bike and we're already moving and we need to really brake or do like a very hard turn, we'll eventually fall as well, very likely. The speed is too high to match that direction we're taking. So I think everything is about the right amount of speed. When we are so uncertain and so unclear, we just need to get things moving a little bit. Do something. I know you might be asking yourselves, what even do I do, right? Because it's happened to me. But just pick something and go. I think this is the ultimate medicine for uncertainty and pushing through it. It's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to be unclear. It's just doing a little bit of something, getting that just tiny bit of speed, and that inertia, eventually it's going to compound. And the more speed we get more comfortable on that bike and we can start steering the wheel into the right direction and we'll see more possibilities. And as we get used to that speed, we'll be able to go a little bit quicker and get even more momentum and keep steering the wheel. I think this is something that I've been really thinking about these days. And I relate that a lot to what's been happening to me with the content. It's been almost 9 years since I've been making content, and I've turned that what started as a hobby into a profession. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've really been like professionally making content for clients. But it's always been the case that when it comes to my own content, to building my own brand and putting out content that I just enjoy or that it's going to help me even scale the business, I just seem unable to do it. I don't know. I think I usually put a lot of excuses. I'll be able to start shooting that when I have that microphone, or I'll be able to shoot that video when I get that wide angle lens so I can start really vlogging. And I'll have to wait until I know exactly all the colors in my brand palette that I want. Because otherwise, what's the point on making something that will be ugly or it will change in a few weeks? And the whole point was never this. And the whole point was never that I was lacking the motivation one day, and one day I had it, one day I didn't have it. The point was resistance. And this is what I've been reading in The War of Art, a book by Steven Pressfield. Highly recommended. And I've learned that a lot of what I have is this resistance that is just stealing away all that effort, energy, making me not do the thing that I'm supposed to do. So yeah, how funny is it that I'm in this content creation industry and I'm able to make content for my clients when I cannot even make content for myself? And I just know the way through it is, again, getting the speed, getting some inertia and getting some momentum. And so I'm happy that I'm doing this sort of video, just getting things going and doing things that stupid simple that it's impossible I say no to, and still really enjoying the process. Now, there's also been something that has been quite surprising for me this week. And, you know, in this book, The War of Art, there was this question towards the end of the book that precisely asks something like, if there was no one left in this world, what would you still be doing? And this was a pointy question, very deep one. And I found myself not really knowing what to answer. As I was looking inside and trying to self-reflect, I was quite unsure about, you know, what's the one thing that if no one else was watching and no one else existed in this world, I would still be doing just for fun. Because, you know, if no one else existed, there's lots of things that would just immediately disappear. And in this book, he talks about the example of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, you know, he said literally, you know, if there was no one else in this world, he would still go to the gym every single day and grind his ass off. And so I was like, again, what's my calling? Again, this brings back that uncertainty and those doubts. And to that I say, I still don't know. I'm still figuring it out, and it's okay. Something I also thought of, you know, this question that I always like to ask myself is, you know, what would I tell myself 6 months ago? And I would probably look at myself and I would tell you, you know, keep going, and you'll be scared, and that's okay. You will have fears, and that's okay. You'll be very uncertain at times, and that is okay. And you will overthink as well, and that is okay as well. But keep going and keep pushing, and you'll be fine. And all those doubts, all that uncertainty, and all those questions and overthinking you're doing, listen to those, because I think they're clues, and they're, you know, your body is trying to tell you something, and probably that it feels very uncomfortable because it requires a huge behavioral change and becoming a person that you're still not, but really do lean into them, because otherwise you'll just stay stuck. You'll stay on that bike, 0 speed, you'll try to steer the wheel, and you'll just fall off. So get on that bike, listen to those doubts, those uncertainties, and get moving a little bit, get a little bit of inertia. And then again, you know, the road will be amazing. It will be full of green grass and sometimes not so green, and it's going to be okay. But you'll get the bike going. Again, listen to yourself and lean into those doubts, because they are very revealing. See ya.